listeners, and welcome to yet another episode of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast with me, your host, Olu OK. Today is episode 52, and before we get into the regular schedule of talking about the league games over the past week, we have to start with the Nigerian national team squad, which was recently announced last week by the NFF for our crucial March qualifiers against Ghana taking place in a little just over 2 weeks' time. First leg's on March 25th, and the second leg is on March 29th. So that's obviously an exciting one. It's our first list since AFCON, so a lot to get into in terms of who's been dropped, who's been added in, what I think about the list. I mean, there's still some baffling NFF decisions as usual, but we'll get into it anyway. So yeah, what does the squad list look like for the game? In goal, no changes. We've got Maduka Okoye, Francis Zoho, and Daniel Akpeyi called up as the goalies. Defenders, William Ekong called up, Kenneth Amero, Leon Balogun, Ola Aina, Semi Ajayi, Calvin Bassey, Zaidu Sanusi, and Abdullahi Shehu. In midfield, we've got Ndidi, Joaribo, Franco Yeka, Ogenekaro Etebo, and Akinkunmi Amoo, while the forwards have been listed as Ahmed Musa, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Osimhen, Hallelujah, Ighalo, Sadiq Umar, Kelechi Iheanacho, Emmanuel Dennis, and Ademola Lookman. There's also been there's been a standby list released for this game. So there's, on the standby list, Chidozie Awaziem, Jamilu Collins, Chidera Ejuke, Taiwo Awoni, Paulo Nwachu, Peter Olainka, and probably the strangest name I've seen on the Super Eagles list in a long, long time, Ogeni Onazi, who's currently playing in the second division in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, NFF decisions, eh? Or, in fact, I don't even know where to start with that one. But anyway, what are the important things to note? First call-ups for Akinkunmi Amoo, who just moved to FC Copenhagen in the January window, and Ademola Lookman, who confirmed his allegiance switch from England to Nigeria a few weeks ago. He's been called up for the first time, which is great to see. Who's been recalled since the AFCON? When I say recalled, players who did not end up playing in AFCON, either through injury or club issues like Dennis. So Victor Osimhen is back in the squad. By far the most important name on the list. Our most important player by a large margin, to be honest. Before AFCON, I used to think Ndidi was our most important player, but oh my God, did we miss Victor Osimhen, especially in that game against Tunisia. So that's made my day, just seeing Victor Osimhen back in the list for the Super Eagles. Leon Balogun has recovered from his injury, so he's back in the lineup for the Super Eagles. We get another recall for Calvin Bassey, who's yet to make his debut, but has been having an excellent season for Rangers in the Scottish Premiership. Shehu Abdullahi returns after injury, which made him miss AFCON. I'm not sure about that one, but to be fair, the alternatives are pretty light when it comes to right back, with Tadeboe out injured. Etebo recalled. I have a few things to say on that one. He's still not made a competitive return to the pitch for Watford, so I don't know what the thinking is there when it comes to selecting him for the national team. Ighalo is back after his issues with his club refusing him from going to AFCON. He actually moved teams, so he now plays for Al Hilal in the same league. And then, obviously, Emmanuel Dennis is back in the squad. I know we were all pretty pissed off that he didn't come to AFCON, but when you look at how our right wing did in AFCON, you could say that Dennis, the other players' performance pretty much made it a sensitive for Dennis to be recalled. There's no way he wasn't going to get called up for the national team, considering his performances this season in the Barclays Premier League. What other interesting notes have I noticed? I have no issues with the goalkeepers, no real issues with the defenders, to be honest. I wish Tosi Adarabioyo will commit to Nigeria. I don't know what he's waiting for, but that's a story for another day. I'm not too upset with the midfield, apart from the Etebo one and Amoo. With Amoo, he doesn't really deserve a call-up right now, in all honesty, even though he had a good season for Sweden in the Swedish league. We know his potential is enormous, so I'm not taking anything away from him. And I think he should do really well for FC Copenhagen. They'll challenge for the Danish title, and he'll probably play some games in Europe. So let's see how that goes. And we know that we do have a depth of central attacking midfielders. I think another reason why we're seeing Amoo on this list is because Alex Iwobi is suspended for the games against Ghana after getting his red card in the game against Tunisia at AFCON. So maybe that's why Amoo was called up, to be fair. In terms of midfield, I don't know what Alassane Youssouf needs to do to get a call up in the Super Eagles, man. Like, he's playing well for Royal Antwerp. They're third in the Belgian league. He starts week in, week out. And then you also have someone like Innocent Bonke who's playing in Ligue 1 for Lorient starting games. And yet, neither of them could get called up when they're pretty much fit. It's a bit of a baffling one, especially with Etebo's injury situation. So, but we know the NFF and the handlers have a soft spot for Etebo, which I'm not that mad about. But I just think it's a bit too soon considering his injury. And then forwards-wise, my main issue is, I'm sorry, you can't justify calling up Ighalo and Sadiq Umar over Taiwo Awoniyi and Onuachu. It just doesn't sit well with me, especially considering the seasons Onuachu and Awoniyi are having in their respective leagues. But as long as Victor Osimhen plays 95% of the minutes in both games, we'll be fine. So I'm not too worried about that decision. Like I said, Osimhen is by far the most potent player that we have in the national team. Chidozie Awaziem, Jamilu Collins, Chidera Ejike, Taiwo Awoniyi, and Peter Laika have all dropped from the AFCON squad to the standby list. I think Onuachu is also very unlucky to be on the standby list. Considering his pedigree, he should be in there ahead of Sadiq Umar at the very least. But hey, I'm guessing Sadiq Umar's cameo performance against Tunisia was the reason why they called him up for the list. And then, as I already mentioned, Onasi, I think that's just a disgrace. Like, Onasi was a 7 for the national team. You know, we respect what he did. Lovely man. But there's no reason Onasi should even be on the standby list when you have Innocent Bonke and Alassane Youssouf, who are all eligible to play for Nigeria. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's it in terms of the squad. We'll do a proper preview ahead of the games against Ghana. Don't worry about that. You know, biggest game in Nigerian history since our last World Cup qualifiers. You know how much we love going to the World Cup. And for us to be playing against our arch West Africa rivals, Ghana, I mean, there's not much more to add to that one. But we must win. And we must go to Qatar. Like, a World Cup without Nigeria will be absolutely heartbreaking. So I'm hoping that the boys can do the job and we'll be there in Qatar come November. The draw's on April 1st as well, so it will literally happen a few days after those games. So imagine the heartbreak if Nigeria are not there. So we must deliver. But anyway, moving on to the league reviews and starting with the Premier League. The Leicester boys have kind of gotten things back on track. They've got back-to-back wins now in the last 2 games in the Prem. So on Tuesday night, they beat Burnley 2-0. And Didi started the game and Lookman came off the bench. And then on Saturday, they beat Leeds 1-0. With Kelechi Iheanacho coming off the bench to get the assist for Harvey Barnes. I must say, it's been very, very bizarre management of Kelechi Iheanacho this season by Brendan Rodgers. After scoring 19 goals in all competitions last season, he's barely really got a chance and he's not being played in his best position. And Leicester overall as a team have become much worse compared to their performances last season, which was helped in a long way by the form of Kelechi Iheanacho. So I just don't understand what Rodgers does and he's thinking with Kelechi. In fact, if he doesn't play more games, I hope Kelechi moves in the summer, man. Because with his talent and his age, he should not be sitting down on the bench. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. And hopefully we'll see Kelechi get some more minutes for Leicester City. Next up for them, they play in the Conference League round of 16 against Rennes at home on Thursday. And then they come to the Emirates on Sunday to play my beloved Arsenal. We should beat them, but you just never know with these games anyway. And then Frank Onyeka's Brentford, they beat Norwich 3-1 away on Saturday. Frank Onyeka came off the bench after being an unused sub in the previous 2 games, so that was good to see. Hopefully we can see him force his way back into the starting lineup for Brentford. Next up for them, they play Burnley at home on Saturday in what is pretty much a relegation 6-pointer. So you hope Onyeka and the team do well in that one. Alex Iwobi's Everton, oh my God. Everton are absolutely shocking. They did win the FA Cup 5th round game against Boreham Wood on Thursday, but it was Boreham Wood. Boreham Wood are not even in the Football League. And then earlier tonight, Monday night, they got absolutely battered 5-0 by Tottenham away. And guess what? Iwobi didn't even play any of those games. A new sub in both, so you can't really blame him for how they've performed in any way, shape or form. But next up for them, they play Wolverhampton at home on Sunday. That will be a very, very tough game for them, to be fair. And then next week, Thursday, they play Newcastle at home, so at this point, you have to say that Everton may lose both games. They're currently just 1 point off the relegation zone now. And if I was a betting man, I will not be surprised if Everton go down. Like, they were absolutely terrible today. 5-0. Nah, that's taking the piss. And then finally, Watford, another big contender to get relegated despite Dennis's performances. He did play on Sunday against Arsenal. Watford lost 3-2 to Arsenal at Vicarage Road. You could say Dennis had a few chances where he could have scored. And Samuel Kalu also made his debut off the bench in the final minutes of the game. But relegation is looming big time. Like, they still have just 19 points. They're 19th in the league. And their fixture schedule does not ease up at all. Their next two games are away to Wolverhampton on Thursday this week. And then they play Southampton away on Sunday. So I will be very surprised if Watford won either of those games. But we've seen stranger things in the Barclays. In terms of other Barclays Premiership results, we did see Burnley lose 4-0 to Chelsea on Saturday. We saw Aston Villa thrash Southampton 4-0. Coutinho was absolutely sensational in that game. We saw Ivan Toney get a hat-trick in the Brentford 3-1 win. Newcastle continued to soar. They're definitely not getting relegated. They beat Brighton 2-1. Pretty good performance. Ryan Fraser scored a goal in that one. Crystal Palace, probably their best performance of the season, beat Wolverhampton 2-0 away. Wilfred Zaha scored a penalty and Mateta scored in that one as well. And we saw Liverpool beat West Ham 1-0 courtesy of a goal from Sadio Mane. And then in the Manchester derby yesterday on Sunday, we saw Man City absolutely batter the living daylight out of Man United. Like, they were in Paris. 2 goals for De Bruyne, 2 goals for Riyad Mahrez. Easy does it. And then, as I mentioned earlier already, tonight Tottenham beat Everton 5-0. Harry Kane scored 2. I think Kulusevski, did Kulusevski score? Reguilon got 1. Son got 1. And I can't remember who scored the first goal. It was an own goal. Yeah, own goal. Yeah, Everton needs to rest and piss. They need to go down straight away. In terms of next Premier League fixtures to be aware of, Wolverhampton play Watford on Thursday. Leeds play Aston Villa on Thursday as well. Southampton play Newcastle on Thursday. And Norwich host Chelsea in what are 4 of the rearranged fixtures from earlier in the season due to game postponements due to COVID. And then for the next game week, we'll see Brighton play Liverpool in the 12:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Brentford play Burnley at 3 p.m. And then Manchester United host Tottenham in what is a perfect tie for someone like myself. It would be nice if they draw so Arsenal could maintain 4th spot. And either way, one of them is going to drop points. So I'm looking forward to that one. On Sunday, in the 2 p.m. kickoffs, we have a whopping 6 games on at 2 p.m. I'm not sure what the thinking is with that one. But Chelsea play Newcastle at 2 p.m. Everton play Wolves at 2 p.m. Leeds United play Norwich at 2 p.m. Southampton play Watford at home at 2 p.m. And West Ham play Aston Villa at 2 p.m. And then in the 4:30 p.m. kickoff, Arsenal host Leicester City. And then there's one more game on Monday, which will be Crystal Palace hosting Manchester City in the league. And then on Wednesday, we've got 2 rescheduled fixtures as well. So Brighton will be playing Tottenham and Arsenal will be hosting Liverpool at the Emirates. That's going to be a tough game for my boys, but God willing, we'll do the job. But yeah, that's it in terms of the Premier League roundup for the week. Moving on to Serie A, we saw Victor Osimhen's Napoli lose disappointingly to AC Milan at home on Sunday. I watched this game and honestly, I just wanted Napoli to win so bad, but they just didn't do anything to deserve to win. Osimhen was feeding off scraps, to be honest. But the BT Sport commentator, he was in love with Osimhen, man. He praised Osimhen so many times. It was like if Napoli had more players like Osimhen, they'll be winning the game. He just kept talking about how, apart from Haaland, Osimhen's the next best striker he would want in his team. And honestly, I was just loving the praise. And that tells you how highly rated Osimhen is in the world of football right now. And long may he continue to show it. Next up for them, though, they play Verona away on Sunday. So it'll be a chance for them to get back on track, even though they're now 3rd in the league. Although they're only 2 or 3 points behind AC Milan. So there's still all to play for in terms of winning the Scudetto. Ola Aina wasn't a new sub yet again for Torino. I don't know what he has to do to get a game. They drew 0-0 against Bologna away on Sunday. And next up for them, they host Inter Milan on Sunday this coming week. Isaac Success did not play for Udinese in their 2-1 win over Sampdoria at home on Saturday. Next up for them, they play Roma at home on Sunday. So hopefully we'll see him get back into the starting lineup for them. We saw David Okereke start for Venezia at home, but they got battered 4-1 by Sassuolo on Sunday. And it doesn't get any easier for them. They play Lazio away next week, Monday. And then Salernitana, they're going straight back down. They got battered 5-0 by Inter Milan away on Friday. Joel Obi did come off the bench. And next up for them, they play Sassuolo at home on Saturday. And Sassuolo have been playing really well. So they're going to lose that game, Salernitana. Moving on to League 1, Moses Simon last week scored the winning penalty in the French Cup semi-final for Nantes as they hosted Monaco. The game ended 2-2 and went to penalties, and Moses Simon converted the winning penalty, so they won 4-2. And I believe it's Nantes' first final of any kind in over 50 years. So congratulations to Moses Simon and Nantes. Also in the league, they beat Montpellier 2-0 at home on Sunday, and they're now up to 6th in League 1, which is a far cry from where they were last season when they were battling relegation and had to play a relegation playoff. They're only 5 points off the UCL Sports in France as well, so that's a really, really big achievement for them. And I really hope that they could continue to soar this season. And, you know, we've all seen how well Simon's been playing for the national team as well, so that's a very, very good omen. Next up for them, they played Troyes away on Saturday, and then Terry Murphy was finally back in the goals, even though it was in a humiliating 4-1 loss to Lyon on Friday night. He did score. His goal was really good. A header, corner kick, got floated to the back post, and he was there to nod it into the net. Next up for them, though, they play Clermont Foot away on Sunday, and they desperately need some points because at the moment they're in the relegation zone. So that's one to watch. Innocent Bonke also played in this game for Lorient, so we'll see how they get on. In La Liga, we saw Samuel Chukwueze come off the bench on Saturday as Villarreal lost 1-0 to Osasuna away. Really, really bad loss considering they're chasing Champions League spots. Next up for them on Saturday, they play Celta Vigo at home. And then they'll play Juventus away in the Champions League next week, Wednesday, in what's going to be the tie of their season so far. And then Sadiq Omar's Almeria lost 2-0 to Zaragoza in the Spanish Segunda on Friday. Next up for them, they play Lugo at home. They'll be looking to bounce back because they'll be desperate to qualify and get back into La Liga. And then finally, for the top 5 leagues in the Bundesliga, we saw Kevin Akpoguma's Hoffenheim move into the Champions League places. They're now currently 4th in the league. They beat Cologne 1-0 away on Sunday. Kevin Akpoguma started that game, which was good to see because he'd not started any game recently. And it was Hoffenheim's 4th win on the bounce. So really, really good result for them. However, they do play the big boys next. On Saturday, they host Bayern Munich at home. That should be a tasty, tasty tie. But hopefully we can see the Hoffenheim boys succeed in that one. Taiwan Warnies Union Berlin. Last week, Tuesday, they beat St. Pauli in the German Cup quarterfinal 2-1. So now they're in the semi-finals, which is a great achievement for them. Although in the league on Saturday, they lost 1-0 away to Wolfsburg, which means that they're now 7th in the league. And next up for them, they play VfB Stuttgart at home on Saturday. And then finally, Dixon Abiyama at Greater Fürth. They need to rest in peace, man. What a terrible team. He came on as a sub as they lost 2-1 to fellow newly promoted side Bochum away. They're definitely going down. And next up for them, it doesn't get any easier. They host RB Leipzig on Sunday. So that's it in terms of the top 5 leagues. So moving on to the non-top 5 leagues in Europe, starting with the Premier League as usual. Zaidu Sanusi started on Wednesday last week as Porto beat Sporting Lisbon 2-1 away in the Portuguese Cup semi-final first leg. So big result for them, and they should see off the tie in the second leg. However, on Sunday, he was an unused sub as they beat Pacos Ferreira 4-2 away in the league. They're still top of the league, but I'm guessing Sanusi was getting rested because on Wednesday, they will be playing against Olympique Lyonnais at home in the Europa League round of 16. Big game. And then on Sunday, they will then host Tondela in the league. In the Dutch Eredivisie, one of the few goals scored by a Nigerian player this week, we saw Cyril Dessers come off the bench to score the equaliser for Feyenoord in a 1-1 draw at home to Groningen. They're currently 3rd in the league, which is not that great, but they are still in the UEFA Conference League. So on Thursday, they play Partizan Belgrade away in the round of 16, and then on Sunday, they go away to PEC Zwolle. And then Monaco Koye Sports Rotterdam, bit of an interesting game for them. On Friday, they were winning 1-0 away to Vitesse, and he had made 9 saves. But the game got suspended. I'm not sure why, but that's an intriguing one. We'll see what happens in that one. But next up for them on Saturday, they'll be in action against Go Ahead Eagles at home, and they need some points because at the moment, they're bottom of the Dutch Eredivisie, so they're going down. And we know Monaco Koye is going to Watford either way, so they better help themselves. In the Belgian League, we saw Alassane Youssouf, who I can't keep talking about, start yet again for Royal Antwerp. They beat Beerschot 2-1 on Sunday, 3rd in the league at the moment. Next up for them, they play Anderlecht away in what's one of the big games in the Belgian league. And Polonuaciu's again continue to struggle. They're currently 8th in the league. They drew 2-2 to Cercle Bruges on Saturday. Onuachu didn't score this time, unfortunately. But next up for them, they play STVV at home on Sunday. And then in the Scottish Premiership, we saw all three Super Eagles players, Joe Aribo, Calvin Bassey, and Leon Balogun, start on Wednesday in the league as they won 1-0 to St Johnstone away. And then on Saturday, in their 1-0 win over Aberdeen at home, Joe Aribo and Calvin Bassey both started the game, with Leon Balogun coming off the bench. When you look at everything Calvin Bassey is doing for his club side and the form of our current centre-backs for their clubs, you have to say Calvin Bassey should be starting for the Super Eagles. I'm sorry. There's really no reason why he shouldn't be. He could play for the Super Eagles easily for the next 10 years. He's still like 21 or 22. So I'd love to see more of that from him, and would like to see him play for the Super Eagles more often. Next up for them, they play Red Star Belgrade at home in the Europa League round of 16, first leg. And then in the league, in the Scottish Cup quarterfinals, they go away to Dundee on Sunday. In the Turkish league, star of the moment, Anthony Nwakaeme, he continues to rack in the goals. Anthony Nwakaeme was in action initially on Tuesday as Trabzonspor beat Antalyaspor 2-0 in the Turkish Cup quarterfinals. And then back in the league on Sunday, he scored the opening goal in a 1-1 draw against Fenerbahce away. Anthony Nwakaeme is having an absolutely sensational season. He has to be in the running for Player of the Year in the Turkish league. They're definitely going to win the league, barring a massive disaster happening. Next up for them, they play Göztepe at home on Saturday. We saw Bright Osai Samuel at Fenerbahce start as a right back in a 1-1 draw for Fenerbahce in that same game against Trabzonspor. So he was literally dueling with Nwakaeme the entire game. Next up for them, they play Alanyaspor away on Sunday. They're now up to 4th in the league, so maybe they might be able to push for some of those Champions League places. I believe the top 2 in Turkey go to the Champions League. Chinezia Waziem's Alanyaspor, he did come on as a sub last week Thursday in the Turkish Cup as they beat Gaziantep 2-1. And then on Sunday, he started the game as they drew 0-0 at home to Altay. So they're currently 5th in the league. They didn't draw against Altay. That was Musa's team. He started as they beat Kayserispor 2-1 earlier today on Monday night. My bad on that one. And next up for Alanyaspor, they'll be playing Fenerbahce at home on Sunday. So we'll see how Aziem go up against Bright Osai Samuel. And finally, Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa started for Fatih Karagümrük as they lost 1-0 to Sivasspor in the Turkish Cup quarterfinals on Wednesday. And then he also started on Sunday in their 0-0 draw to Altay. Next up for them, they play Hatayspor away on Saturday night. In Denmark, we saw Akinkunmi Amoo come on to make his debut for Copenhagen in a 3-0 win over Randers at home. He came off the bench for the final 4 minutes, so literally just to make his debut. But hopefully we'll see him feature a bit more in the coming games. They've got a UEFA Conference League round of 16 away game against PSV Eindhoven on Thursday. And then they go away to Midtjylland, who are one of the big boys in Denmark as well on Sunday. So that should be a tasty, tasty game. In the Russian league, we've seen Chidar Ajike come off the bench for their last 2 games for CSKA Moscow. Initially on Wednesday, he came off the bench in a 2-1 win over PFC Sochi. This was in the Russian Cup quarterfinal, I believe. And then in the league, he also came off the bench in a 1-0 win over Nizhny Novgorod. Next up for them, though, they play away to Lokomotiv Moscow on Saturday. It's an interesting one because you'd have thought there might be some issues in Russia considering what's happening in the world right now. But I guess Russia's a bit safe compared to Ukraine, so they're just going ahead with the football, even though all their teams have been banned from UEFA competitions at the moment. So, and I believe FIFA are in the process of allowing players in the Russian league move if they want. I'll keep you posted on that one, but I think there's currently talks about allowing players cancel their contracts and move if they would like to, because of the situation between Russia and Ukraine. In the Czech Republic League, we saw Peter Lionka Slavia Prague win 2-0 over fierce rivals Sparta Prague on Sunday. They're currently still first in the league. They'll also be in action in the UEFA Conference League round of 16. They play host to Lask on Thursday, and then they go away to Liberec away on Sunday. So that's it in terms of the roundup for the leagues. I didn't think we should. There's no games happening in Greece at the moment. And to be honest with you, the Cypriot League is too low to be reporting on it right now. So I just decided against it for this week while adding in Akinkunmi Amoo and his exploits for FC Copenhagen. Starboy of the week, been a bit of a dry week for the Super Eagles, if I'm being honest. All our players who scored goals did not score goals in any win. But it has to be Anthony Nwakaeme still. Excellent for Trabzonspor. Probably running for Player of the Year in Turkey. Scored an opener yet again. He's got 11 goals and 9 assists in 26 appearances this season. So already hit 20 goal contributions for the season. In terms of the league, he hit his 10th league goal of the season in that game against Fenerbahce. And I believe all 9 of his assists have also come in the Turkish league. So I'm not sure there's a more informed player, considering he has to contribute with both goals and assists. And if we're thinking about actual form, there is no reason Anthony Nwakaeme should not be in the national team when you have the likes of Ahmed Musa playing for the 9th best team in Turkey and being Super Eagles captain. But hey, we know how the game goes. They'll say Anthony Nwakaeme is 32 years old, but if it's about form, the man is delivering. But anyway, I think he's a bit unlucky because of his age, but that shouldn't be a hindrance considering how well he's performing. But yeah, shout out to Anthony Nwakaeme, our Starboy of the week. And then just before we leave, ones to watch for this week coming up. On Wednesday, Zedu Sanusi's Porto go again against Lyon in the Europa League first leg of round of 16. Then we see Emmanuel Dennis in action away to Wolverhampton on Thursday, before he then plays Southampton away on Sunday. The Leicester City boys, Kelechi Iheanacho, Wilfred Ndidi and Ademola Lookman are in action against my Arsenal away on Sunday. Victor Osimhen's Napoli are in action against Verona away on Sunday, so that's a chance for them to bounce back after the disappointing loss to AC Milan. Kevin Akpoguma's Hoffenheim are in action at home against Bayern Munich on Sunday. Big game. We'll see as successes Udinese play against Roma on Sunday as well. And Alassane Yusuf is involved in the big derby between Royal Antwerp and Anderlecht on Sunday. And then next week, Wednesday, we'll see Samuel Chukwueze's Villarreal in action against Juventus in the Champions League second leg. Reason why I'm talking about next week already is the next podcast will be on a slightly later date as I am on my travels. I'll be back to record the next podcast probably on Thursday, the 18th of March, I believe, or 17th of March, sorry. So enjoy the next 10 days of football, guys. I will be back to touch on all the best performances that will happen over the next 10 days. Remember to, watch all the football, continue supporting, really appreciate everybody. Subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel, continue to spread the word, we're just doing our part here. Follow us on our social media channels at NFWPOD on Twitter, at Nigeria Football Weekly at Instagram, Facebook.com/Nigeria Football Weekly, and our YouTube channel is Nigeria Football Weekly. Thanks again to every listener. I really appreciate all the support. If you have any thoughts or you'd like to get in touch, please make sure to hit me on any of those channels I've mentioned. Have a great week and enjoy all the football. And until next time, peace out. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigerian, they ever carry last.